What is the process when the house is burned down like that? I see they're cleaning it up right now on Bender.
We declare it a public nuisance. So I sign off, the fire chief signs off. That means we don't have to go through the EPA. It's a 10-day notice, then we can tear it down.
Okay.
It's a little more expensive, as opposed to a regular demolition might cost $10,000. When you take it to Minerva, it's gonna cost about $20,000 to $25,000.
But if it's considered as a nuisance and it is in the best interest of the residents and the children, because it's a safety hazard over there and you have to get it up and get it out the way. Okay, so we got, is there, Mr. King, did you have something that you wanted to say on the record?
Thank you. Director, you're doing a great job. Thank you. The second round, if at all possible, if we could maybe get a week, couple days to, you would send it out, say, look, I'm gonna be submitting this application. Council have any properties they would like to get on this list? You could do something like that, because I wouldn't want this to be held up. And I understand when the money comes in, it's specific what it can be used for, but you know, everybody's not, so I don't want to hold money that's coming into the city, and I understand economic development, so if you could give us a couple of days, and maybe even set up a time to come to one of the committees, maybe health and safety, or general services, or a committee that you could come to and then kind of go through it.
You've got contracts and property. All contracts and property should go through the committee. Each time that something like that is happening, it hasn't happened in the past, but there's nothing that says that you can't correct something that hasn't happened in the past. If you got applications that you're fixing to put out, then you can talk to the chair and say, this is the application that we are about to embark on. Want to take a look at it and y'all discuss it or whatever. I think one by one is you know, you have to have it in a central location, but that's just me. But anyway, yes, sir, Mr. Leach, go ahead.
Madam Chair, anytime a council person wants to go out,
Yeah.
we can go out and drive the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We can start, because that's our process now,
Yes.
is we're going ahead and we're gonna identify all the properties, declaring public nuisances now.
Yeah.
We don't know what round two will be in the funding amount. It might be $1 million, it might be less, we don't know. They're just now getting through round one, and they really kind of just got through round one.
Okay. I appreciate you coming up here.
For the swap outs, I do have one last concern.
Okay.
For the swap outs, will you notify me particularly that you can swap the property out for another one? I would like to know that. I didn't want to put that into the legislation. I trust you as a director, you have some.
There's going to be some swapping out.
I know, just
because
let me know.
some people are going to, as we declare a house a public nuisance, they're going to appeal it.
And
So then we can replace it with another one.
With
So
something.
there's going to be some give and
Well,
take.
just let me know when you do that action.
Yes.
Thank you, Council President. If you could send that down to the council office, because there's more concerns in the different committees, general services, health and safety. So just if you send it down to council.
Everybody, pardon me,
When I get stuff, I send it.
Mr. Mansell Baker, I think we're not talking about individuals, we're talking about a stationary place that it can happen. If he sends it to the office and he sends it to the chair, everybody will get information. I'm no one being held away any information, okay? Is there anything else that, Mr., you would like to hear Mr. Leach address? We have the list, Mr. Leach, I went over mine, and if, like you said, anybody wants to get in the car, we can drive over, I have done that, and like I said, there is another fire that took place other than on Bender. So we got fires running all over the place, and I'm assuming I'm going to ask the fire chief if we can have the safety committee along with him do some investigation, because there's too many if these people have insurance or not, but they're breaking out all over the place. So, I'm going to talk to the chair of the safety committee and see what we can do about that. Thank you. And I appreciate you coming and trying to get you out of here as soon as possible. All right? All right? Thank you. Oh, the game is tonight.
You gonna win.
It started at 7. Pardon me. Moving right along.
Reports on council committees.
Mr. Councilman King, you got anything to report on the committee? If no, please state no.
My committee just had a presentation at 5 o'clock. The students from Walsh came out, gave 2 very informative and good presentations. I look forward to moving them forward to becoming legislation. The one was on the controlling or limiting the sale of flavored tobacco in the city of East Cleveland. And as some of you are aware of, they've done that in a number of states or cities across the country. So we're looking at controlling that in East Cleveland. And the second one was a follow-up to the rental property registration and permit and the possibility of what that could generate in income or revenue to the city. So, thank you. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Mr. Councilman Martin?
Yes.
What's happening in your committee?
Uh,
Committee report?
yeah, I have to, it's connected to my committee, as personnel, but this is, I want to say something in my report about annexation. I have some questions I want to raise in my report.
Wait,
Okay,
Councilman Martin,
yeah.
this is a report from your committee. What is taking place in the personnel committee?
I don't want to speak on that specifically at this point.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to, instead of speak on personnel matters that sometime I get from the human resources person and then sometime I raise, because my committee meets on a regular basis. I really want to deal with this in my committee if I can.
No, you can do it at the end. Would you do it at the end when you can say anything?
Okay.
All right, then. I appreciate that. Thank you. Councilman Baker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Contracts and Property Committee will meet on the 4th of this month to handle business pertinent to the city's community development and other issues pertinent to my committee. Also, my ward meeting is still scheduled for next month on the 12th. That's a Tuesday, and I will inform the public of the location and time.
Thank you, Councilman Baker. Councilman Vice President?
Oh, sorry, I missed one thing. Noble Road will be resurfaced. Did contact Councilman Anthony Harrison. So the lower part of Noble Road between Euclid Avenue and going down to the bridge, well past the bridge, will be resurfaced. I also put in a request that they evaluate Shaw Avenue for resurfacing as well.
Yes.
Okay. Is that all?
That is all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Councilman Vice President Wheeler.
Nothing to report at this time, but the next Health and Safety Committee meeting will be May 5th at 5 o'clock.
Thank you, Councilman Wheeler. The Finance Committee will convene after the commission meeting, and the commission meeting is scheduled for April 28th at 1:30 at the library, where we usually have it. Also, there is a Ward 2 Coalition meeting April 27th, which is my ward meeting at 12900 Superior, Abstract Towers. We will have the guest speaker, Anthony Harrison, County Councilman, giving us an update on the county shared senior services. Also, we've talked about Ken Smith. He will be there to elaborate on the rainy day fund. Also, the status of the East Cleveland Financial Recovery Plan which has not yet come into existence. And we will be dealing with that, as you know, at the commission meeting on the 28th. Ms. Hammerhand, who is the chair, has explicitly asked that we approve legislation for that recovery plan. I have not received that from the mayor. Also, we just talked about the demolition monies. Mr. Leach will be there to talk to my residents, and economic development from the transfer station, which we've got some legislation that has to be passed for an expansion to the waste transfer station. All of this will be discussed at this particular meeting. I do not serve refreshments. I hope that's why I have it at 6:30, so you can go home and eat, come ready to sit down and take care of dinner. Also, we are back to the agenda.
Proclamation. Letter of condolence to the family of Officer Anthony Joyner. Councilor Baker, Councilor Christopher,
Councilman Baker?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like the public at this time to have a moment of silence and bow your heads for the falling officer from the city of East Cleveland.
Not a fallen officer.
Thank you very much. This letter of condolences to the family of Officer Joyner, Anthony Joyner, who was a 14-year veteran with the city of East Cleveland on our police department. He served in the community policing department as well as other areas within the division. On the day in question, I pulled up on a scene, a horrific scene, not knowing of what I was coming to. And I would also, like to acknowledge someone that's in the audience at this time as well. Our brother Antoine Billings was one of the first people to run to the aid of Officer Joyner. And upon my arrival, they were pulling him from the rear, and I assisted with them pulling him and putting him on a stretcher. And that was one of the most horrific scenes I've ever seen in my lifetime. Not knowing who it was based on not being able to identify. And then having his mom in the passenger seat, just an uncertainty of the severity of his injuries and the severity of her injuries. I would like to read this proclamation at this point, and also ask Brother Antoine Billings to stand so that people can recognize you and give him a round of applause. And I know he would say to me, I would do it for anybody, and I'm glad we have people that are serving in our community that think outside of themselves and put themselves in harm's way to see about others. That's the oath that I took as a police officer, and when I volunteered as a firefighter for East Cleveland, I took that same oath to just step in harm's way at any given time. Whereas the City of East Cleveland Council wishes to recognize Officer Anthony M. Joyner, a 1989 Shaw High School graduate, a gentleman and a scholar who believed in giving back to his beloved community of the City of East Cleveland by serving with the East Cleveland Police Department for 14 years. And whereas Anthony has served as not only a well-trusted and valuable public servant to the residents of East Cleveland, he is also recognized for his vast wealth of knowledge and the fact that he shared his knowledge freely. And whereas Anthony, who gave freely of his time to his family and community, was a person who had exceptional communication skills and that served him well when articulating any position of fact, emotion, or correction. And whereas Anthony, who was one of those unique individuals that truly led by example by his commitment to his higher power, his family and friends, and all those who come in contact with him and know to love him. Now therefore be it resolved that the East Cleveland City Council, on the behalf of the entire city and all of its residents, with overwhelming pride, pay tribute to Anthony Joyner, East Cleveland Police. He was a true role model whose aspirations, accomplishments, and actions are a source of family pride and inspiration to his colleagues and his East Cleveland community. Officer Joyner will never be forgotten and will live on in the hearts of those he touched. We encourage you to remember that God's grace is sufficient to see you safely through, and it goes on to comfort the family. But I wanted us to realize that at this time we did lose somebody great, a pillar within our community. He ran up and down the street shadow boxing, and many of us can see him on Saturday mornings doing that. And he definitely took part in seniors and did well with the seniors. And I just really do not want this moment to be overstepped by not taking it serious that at this point we did lose a community icon.
To my learning colleague, before you cut me off, I was going to say, you are a hero as well as Mr. Antoine. And being a hero means that you were on the scene and you did something extraordinary, and so did Mr. Antoine. But I was saying that to say that I only thought it was fitting that he be the carrier of the proclamation at the funeral. I would not take that away from him, and I stressed to my clerk to make sure that Mr. Baker, Councilman Baker, had that, to give that presentation at the funeral. And that's what I was going to say. Thank you. Moving right along.
Letter of condolence to the family of Carolyn Jeanette Vincent.
This, go ahead.
Okay, proclamation to celebrate a
but her mom is the one that's passed away. And I want to say, her mom, like every mom, will truly be missed. You only get one mother.
That's right.
So I'm saying that I will not read the proclamation, but she knows in our heart what it is for us to make a proclamation for us. Also, with Officer Joyner is going on in, and I will not take that away from him. But his mother lays in the hospital, still under medical care, and she needs our prayer right now. There are things that we have no control over, but prayer is given freely. And I'm asking this body and the body in the city of East Cleveland, let's pray for his mother, who survived the accident, and that was God's will that she survived. So we all need to wrap prayers around and send them directly to her. Yes, Mr. King.
Thank you, Council President. If I could piggyback on that, and although none of the Joyner families here, our condolences from the King family, myself and the entire King family, go out to the Joyner family. We actually grew up together, so spent a lot of time together, and Scrap was a good buddy of mine and the family. And I wanted to make mention that if you want one of the t-shirts, to call up to the council office. I will have that number in the council's office tomorrow, for t-shirts, because a lot of people were asking for t-shirts, and they're $10 a piece, so, thank you.
All right, there is a, what is it, a fund?
Those t-shirts, it wasn't a fund, it's just, we all got together and said, hey, we wanted to,
Okay, so somebody thought it was a fund for
Yeah.
them, but the
you know
family.
what,
There was a fund for the daughter.
there was a fund, there was actually a fund for the family taking there
Okay,
at the funeral. And I don't know the t-shirt guy, but maybe we could get him to, I'll get his contact
okay,
information.
we'll get the information.
I don't know.
And since my meeting is, this coming Monday, I'll try to have some information about that, and, we'll get as much as we can, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we moving now?
Yes. The first three pieces of legislation are first reading only, so there's no discussion on these, so we'll just read through them.
Okay,
Resolution number 1115, resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Keisha Sanders Stewart the parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1781 Carlin Road, a vacant lot, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, permanent parcel number 672-07094, at a total cost of $100 pursuant to the city's land reutilization side lot program. Resolution number 1215, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Allah Daralantawel at a cost of $1,700 a parcel of land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 0 Lakefront Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, permanent parcel number 672-03081. Resolution number 13-15, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Jimmy L. Pope at a cost of $500 a parcel of land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1892 Rosalind Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, permanent parcel number 672-16-023. Resolution number 20-15, emergency. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Cuyahoga County Department of Public Works for the repair and resurfacing of East 152nd Street from Coit Avenue to Woodworth Avenue in the city of East Cleveland and declaring an emergency for the public safety. This is sponsored by Councilman Brandon King.
Brandon, this, is, sponsored by you. What is your pleasure?
Council President, I will move for the adoption of this legislation. We discussed it last week in my agenda, before the agenda review. And we got on it as emergency for public safety. It's just resurfacing the street, so.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And it's co-sponsored by.
It's co-sponsored by myself and Councilman Baker.
Okay. Discussion? No discussion? Hearing none? Madam Clerk?
Counselor King?
Yay.
Counselor Martin?
Yay.
Counselor Baker?
Yay.
Counselor Willer?
Yeah.
Counselor Thomas?
Yay.
Passes unanimously. Ordinance number 21-15, emergency. An ordinance to authorize the mayor to enter into a written agreement with Cuyahoga County to compete for Round 1 Cuyahoga County Demolition Fund Awards for the period between May 1st, 2015 and October 31st, 2016, and to issue written proceed orders to contractors or to the county land bank for all structures so approved for Round 1 demolition funding and declaring an emergency. Sponsored by Councilor Mansell Baker.
Ansel Baker, this, resolution is sponsored by you. What is your, request?
Madam Chair, I will sponsor ordinance 21-15 and move for its adoption.
I second the motion.
Is there a discussion? Hearing none? Call for the vote.
Counselor King?
Yay.
Counselor Martin?
Yay.
Counselor Baker?
Yay.
Counselor Wheeler?
Yeah.
Counselor Thomas?
Yay.
Passes unanimously. Resolution 2215, emergency resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5521.01 to improve the signage, crosswalks, pedestrian signals, and sidewalks to service the East Cleveland City Schools in the city of East Cleveland and declaring an emergency for the public safety and welfare. One moment. This is sponsored by Counselor King.
Councilor King, 2215, bears your name.
I sponsor it and move for its adoption.
I second the motion.
Which one?
I second.
Councilman,
Okay.
Councilman, Nathaniel Martin, is there discussion on this? I think it's explanatory. It's for the safety of the kids, and some of the signage is not up. Matter of fact, somebody just called me, I don't think it was you, Mr. Struthers, wasn't it, that said some of the signage over on, Hayden was down, and, it's about the, speed limit. Is that the sign that's down?
That's one of them.
One of them is down.
Oh.
So if we, pass this, then that should take care of the situation and the signage being put back up. But I was informed by Mr. Struthers that signs were all down all over the place, so we need to protect our kids, okay? Moving right along, Madam Clerk.
Counselor King,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Baker,
Yay.
Counselor Wheeler,
Yay.
Counselor Thomas.
Yay.
Passes unanimously.
Okay. Remarks of the public.